It's Election Day in New York City and other places, and at last check, Democratic candidate Zohran Mamdani holds a commanding lead.
But just days before millions of New Yorkers would go to the polls, Jeremy Corbyn, a former leader in the UK's Labour Party, took to social media to voice his support of Mamdani. Quote, "Let's get Zohran over the finish line for a New York that's affordable for all." The former British politician also hosted a phone bank alongside the New York City Democratic Socialists of America.
That sparked some controversy because Corbyn is especially unliked in Britain and was even ousted from his party in 2020 due to allegations of anti-Semitism. Back then, UK government watchdog accused Corbyn and his office of breaking equality laws, though through allegedly downplaying, belittling, or outright ignoring complaints of anti-Semitism made by Jewish Labour Party members. Corbyn has denied these allegations, saying that they were, quote, overstated for political reasons.
But Corbyn's recent alignment with Mamdani has brought a wave of criticism. Mamdani's opponent in the race, Andrew Cuomo, threw his punch on X, writing, quote, "Having Jeremy Corbyn, someone whose party was found to have committed unlawful acts of discrimination against Jewish people under his leadership, phone banking for Zohran Mamdani says everything you need to know. New York doesn't need politics of moral compromise. We need leadership that rejects anti-Semitism, extremism, and division in every form and in every corner."
Meanwhile, Ted Cruz also weighed in, writing in his own post, "Foreign interference, a British anti-Semite supporting a New York City anti-Semite. Communists of the world, unite."
Mamdani has spoken out in the past about his feelings on Israel, saying in October, quote, "I support the vision of Israel and as a Jewish and democratic state, also a responsibility to uphold international law." This is a topic that Zohran's obviously has a little point of contention with. We saw him on The View get into it, even that though people would call that like a favorable table for him to have a dialogue at, be challenged up there regarding how he makes sure that he makes Jewish people in New York, which there is a large population, comfortable and clear on his stances. So having Corbyn anywhere around him, even if those are just allegations, his party seems like they would be like, no, thank you. It has nothing to do with us. Somebody from the UK helping us out.
Isn't it foreign election interference?
Well, I mean, just don't even do anything. Just mind your business. I don't see why that's necessary. But also Cuomo jumping in here and talking about morals. Not the time or the place, buddy. Like you're not the moral high ground in this race based on allegations that you have of your own. So I think that that's kind of a weird stance to take. Also, Cuomo last night got endorsed basically in a kind of sleight of hand endorsement from President Trump.
By Trump?
Yeah, he said basically you have no choice.
Yeah.
He said don't even vote for the Republican. That's a vote for Zohran Mamdani. You have no choice but to vote for Cuomo.
Cuomo is being sold right now to New York Republicans very aggressively. They are, I know, a lot of conservative people who live in New York. You're from conservative media. You're usually here in D.C. or you're in New York. And the friends I have there are, I will tell you, they're really on the fence.
I was about to say, how do they feel about this?
Well, they want to vote for Curtis Sliwa, but they don't want, and they don't like Andrew Cuomo for all the reasons I don't like him, and many people of all ideological stripes don't like him. His COVID governance was abysmal. He covered up deaths of people that he caused. However, they do not want a socialist to win. So people I know who are of my ideological bent or are more conservative than I am are not sure what to do. They're going to make that decision in the polling booth, whether to vote for Curtis Sliwa or whether to compromise and vote for Cuomo because they don't want Mamdani to win. That's the choice that Republicans I know are weighing right now. It looks still to me very likely that Mamdani is going to win either way, but I don't know. There could be some undercounted Cuomo support because people are going to get into the polling booth and say, you know what, we can't have a socialist in charge of New York, and they're going to vote for Cuomo. Maybe. I still think he's probably going to win, but I'm hearing more of this sentiment now.
To see, it's like everyone threw their whole kitchen sink at a local election, which has been so interesting to watch.
It's a local election, but it's
I know it's a big city. It is, but I'm just saying the president involved to this degree. People said that he and this is all alleged.
I mean, he's a resident.
No, but at some point he was offering jobs, people were saying, to Eric Adams, that he might have been, he got on the phone with Cuomo, that was reported by the New York Times. So he's deeply involved in this. And it's like, okay, well, sometimes you have to just admit that you might have just lost one. Like this, to do all of this now, the day before or the day of election day, it is what it is. Like the numbers, he's winning in double digits. And not that you should throw in the towel, but to take away all the support when Andrew Cuomo tried to distance himself from you of the Republican candidate and now tell people in a party, oh, go against all your values. Cuomo's going to suddenly change the way that he's governed the city in the past and just lean Republican because we scratch each other's back, even though he's going to try to convince Democrats that he's not really my friend. Like, what is he? How is he everyone's friend then? What's he going to do as a leader? You just kind of don't know where Cuomo stands.
I know, but what is he going to do as a leader? Right, it could be very many bad things, but he's not going to abolish the police department. You're not going to live in a New York where there are literally no police.
Well, that's not actually on the table. So,
well, Mamdani
said that during 2020 when he was tweeting a slogan. Yes,
3 years ago.
Okay, but now we're talking about present day, and he hasn't touted those policies. What I heard him talking about is trying to get a handle on the housing crisis. What I heard him talking about is trying to bring prices down for New Yorkers on things like groceries. And so even if you don't agree with his strategy, what has translated and what we kept talking about even in the last federal election with the president is that he's speaking to people that are having concerns about paying everyday costs. And so that's what he's doing. Whether you like the way he's speaking to them or not, or the strategies he's proposing, he was successful at proposing strategies that landed. And so if the Republicans really wanted to win, instead of focusing on attacking his character and his Islamic faith, they perhaps should have spent more money trying to attack the problems in New York, which are the prices being probably 10 times what it is in most rural areas around the country, because New York is always an exaggerated price on everything. And people there are suffering because inflation is still high, the economy is still not that great. So like they should have focused on the real issues. The same thing and advice that Republicans gave to Democrats in the last election, instead of focusing on all these social issues and all this stuff, focus on the economy. Republicans dropped the ball here, and Cuomo dropped the ball here. Everyone was worried about attacking Mamdani. Mamdani was worried about bringing prices down, and that's the disconnect.
I don't think it's correct to say that he was like laser focused just on the economy. He believes in every woke thing. Maybe he's been a little quieter about all that stuff because that doesn't help you get elected anymore.
It's a campaign.
He had some plan to basically to tax areas of New York that are disproportionately white, to tax them more so that white people end up paying a greater share of the tax burden than they already would by being overrepresented in the upper echelons of the tax bracket, a tax bracket that he wants to increase to 52% anyway. There's nothing price combating against more big government, more government management of the economy, more confiscation of people's wealth. Again, these are ideas that have been tried for 100 years.
I could have the same argument about the president. He was arguing that he's going to bring prices down, and there's nothing price combating about bringing tariffs up. So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what he was saying on the campaign trail.
Trump has gone awry is by implementing policies that are adjacent to socialism.
But he's still
tariffs
the
are
point
a form
is that
of
he
government.
campaigned on bringing prices down.
Tariffs are. I don't care what you campaign on. I care what your actual policy idea. We can all campaign on bringing prices down, but how do you purport to do that? What Trump has purported to do is to use tariffs to make things. He's used tariffs for foreign policy. The immediate result of the tariffs is that the prices of things go up when the government more centrally directs or raises the costs of goods and services, labors. It makes the cost of things go up in the economy. That's exactly what Zohran purports to do as well. So Trump
So they're like
has
a
been,
similar candidate then, is what I'm saying. That was my
they have
exact
both
point.
they have both adopted left-wing
strategies
policies
that worked by campaigning one way.
I just
and
don't
then
want
doing
left-wing
another. I don't know
policies.
who's going to end up in office. All I'm saying is that Zohran successfully has campaigned and spoke to the voter that wants prices down. So it's the same strategy that President Trump used, and here we are. The poll came out yesterday, the YouGov poll. 60% of people are saying the economy is not great and blaming Trump. So here we are. That's what I'm saying. We can just try it out in New York. President Trump is so stressed about him doing the same exact things that he's doing. People can try it out in New York. Why does the whole country need to be riled up about this, even though New York's the biggest city?
Like I'm going to try out jamming a fork into an electrical socket. It's never worked for anyone else in any other society, but let's give it a little try. Okay,
we're trying out New York? President Trump as our president of our country.
New York is about
that's a big
grab
test.
the fork and be like, what happens? You get shocked.
We'll see what happens. We'll see.
I know
but he wins, so the people speak. We have fair and free elections. He's going to win, and the people have spoken. It's not your choice, Robbie. You don't live in New York. Just because Robbie doesn't like it, New Yorkers must love it.
I will continue not to live there. not the biggest fan of democracy personally in all cases, and this is one of them.
Coming up, former Speaker Nancy Pelosi had some pretty harsh words for President Trump. Plus, reports are circulating that she might be retiring. Stick around.